Now, the best way I can describe the ranking factors for Amazon, there's quite a few out there, but I've segmented them into 5 specific groups where there's organic, PPC, CRO, outside referrals, and sales. These are the 5 key ranking factors. It's called the grind, and very rightly so. So anyone that's new to Amazon ads, that doesn't know what sort of keywords they should be targeting, I'm a big fan of using automated ads to start off with, so you can then understand the keywords that Amazon thinks you should use. Amazon's database is, as I say, all around selling. And from that selling point, they know some really good keywords for you to start off with. But when you file into the report, you need to see which ads are doing best for you. Once you've got those ads right, you then move them into the manual, because that's when the cost comes massively lower down for you guys as well, and then filtering it back into your product listing. So it is a grind, because it's a lot of testing and a lot of money put into it, but this is how you make your start on Amazon ads. So I'm going to break down into the individual factors. I just wanted to highlight this because, like I say, a lot of the data filled in is from myself and Anders. Any questions, feel free to fire them through. So the biggest thing that I can say for Amazon is to get your keyword research right. Once you've got your keyword research right, that is more than half the job done. Going into your content, we've got to look at the structure, because you've got, as you can imagine, there's very little you can add that there's no free form. You have your title, you have your bullet points, you have the product description. So you might be saying to yourself, how do I rank in products where I've got such a set format? Now, to me, hopefully these slides will help you through. Again, any questions, fire them over. I'm more than happy to answer. So the first point of using your content is how to structure your title. Amazon doesn't care about your brand. I use this example all the time. Go into Amazon right now, type in Asics men's running shoe. Guarantee the first result will be a New Balance running trainer, which you might want to rank for. Amazon does have a very, very useful tool. It's called the back-end search terms. Now, for this tool, you can add up to 250 characters to make sure that your product's being indexed. Now, this one doesn't have to have, you don't have to worry about punctuation, singularities, plural words, because Amazon takes this into account. And the beautiful thing about the back-end search term function is that it's not visible to your user. You'll see it on your Amazon seller or your vendor account. You can see all the keywords that you're trying to rank for, but your purchaser doesn't see them. So this is a really good ranking factor for you. The aspect is very, very important, especially when you're launching a brand new product, and still actually quite important when you've got the product pretty much live, because there's always something you can be doing with your PPC. Now, one of the best aspects here is that Amazon splits its PPC functions into 3 products here. And like I said, I've got some listings here. So they've got the sponsored products where obviously speaks for itself. You've got a particular product that you want to sell. So say it's an iPhone 6. You want to sell your iPhone 6. You want to rank higher than iPhone 6s. You put your iPhone 6 on there. But you also go into sponsored brands. But then the next interesting point is they've recently rolled out is sponsored display. Now, this has come out as a result of Google Display Network, and this is something that they're trying to compete with. There's not a lot of people that meet criteria for sponsored display, because you've got to be spending anywhere between $10,000 a month, and not many Amazon sellers at the moment are sending that. So that's something that's bear in mind. As I say, to that of Google ads, when you're coming up to the sponsored campaign, as I said before, I personally would start off with an automatic campaign, so you could have the keywords suggested by Amazon, and then transfer the successful keywords into a manual PPC account to then target your keywords to pump up the bid and drive up the exposure. I'm sure that we talk about targeting here as well, because once you've got the keyword set up that you want to use, targeting is a very, very important factor, because if you don't get the right mixture on your targeting, now you'll be given 3 options. Again, same as Google, broad, exact, phrase. And to me, getting a mixture of all 3 is the best way forward, but it depends on each individual campaign. But deciding to target your competitors, as New Balance does for ASICs, or ASICs, depending which way you want to say it, or identifying types of users. So you can say, I'm after persona B, which is somebody that lives in the south of the UK, spends a lot of time outdoors, and wants to build along there. So you can then target personas in that sense as well. As I mentioned before, PPC does boost your organic. So it is worthwhile, like I said before, running it at an initial loss or break even, which is obviously the ideal, but you have the added benefit of your, of the fact that you are getting your brand out there, but you're also getting data back. So if you're spending more on your initial PPC, you can see who's reacting to your PPC and why. And the more data you have, the better you'll do with it as well. Now, I always suggest, no matter the campaign, no matter even if it's not returning as you expected, let it run for about 4 weeks so you can get a better idea of where you are. This is a survey that myself and Anders run out in terms of how much people measure their spend on Amazon. As we can see, only a small percent focus on the sales lift divided by the ad spend. Less than about a sixth of all sales are divided by ad spend, but most of them attribute it to a direct sale. So again, that is a key factor in terms of the reporting, which we'll talk about shortly. So in terms of the attribution, it's one of the best ways to do is how many sales you've made that week that is a direct link to your ad. Now, they also have what we call a halo effect. So if you're a brand on Amazon and, for example, you've been trying to advertise a tennis shoe, but someone then clicks on this ad for the tennis shoe, but then buys a dress shoe from you, it's what we call the halo effect. Now, the attributed sales, for me, when you're first starting out, aren't as important as they are on your second and third, because the data that we're getting are for your second and third campaigns, and they're the ones where we should really be showing an ROI. And if you're not showing an ROI by your second, at the very least third campaign, then we need to have a rethink, because it could be down to poor targeting. Now, this will not just cost you money, but it'll also affect your CRO, which is a little thing we're going to talk about lately. And now, again, you'll probably think CRO in such a small basic tick box exercise on Amazon, but it is very, very, very effective, and it is in fact a ranking factor. CRO. Now, the best CRO tool that I can mention is Cellularly by SEMrush, mostly because, one, it's a free tool. I'll talk about that in a little bit more detail shortly, but the ranking factors in terms of Amazon are customer reviews. Now, obviously, the higher reviews you get, the better you'll do on Amazon. You need at least 15 to be what they call retail ready. You can do this by either the Vine campaign, where you send your product out to influencers, they then review your products, or making use of Amazon's early review scheme, which then when you're selling your products, they'll automatically send something out that'll ask for your reviews as well. And then we come on to the biggest ranking factor, and I had to put the Wolf of Wall Street as this factor, but this to me is the biggest factor. If you are generating sales, it doesn't matter how competitive your keyword is. If you are selling for someone and if you are selling for a set of keywords and your competitors aren't, even if you are ranking below them to start off with, Amazon will push you up. Now, there's a couple of things that Amazon really enjoys. Obviously, it makes the sale, but sales from outside sources it enjoys even more. So if someone clicks on a Facebook ad, a Google ad, that sees your product and then comes to Amazon to then buy your product, that is just a massive ranking factor. And I can't express how good the results have been, where we've sort of integrated all digital marketing into one field to then push into this as well. Because you can also integrate your products. You can advertise your own products off of Amazon, but have Amazon deal with your logistics. You can. There is talks and there's rumors, like I say, it's all unconfirmed, that the e-commerce sphere is Amazon's looking to buy products in terms of being able to buy cars over it. So they're looking at, there is rumors that there is software that has been bought. I've got no confirmation of this. Like I say, it's just word of mouth through speaking at people at different conferences and looking at some beta tests that have been pushed out there. But the point there is that you will, in the next 5-6 years, be able to buy a car through Amazon. Eventually, all e-commerce is going to be Amazon.